Okay, I just got back from Las Vegas last night, and I'm already going to South Africa today. With a stopover in Switzerland. Yo, I don't even know what my life is right now. My Uber is on the way. I'm going to Switzerland first, making a connection, picking up, well, not picking up, but they're kind of picking me up because they're the ones that invited me on this. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm also freaking out because I've never been this far south before. I've never been on this long of a flight before, and I've never been on this type of plane before. So all kinds of emotions are happening right now. And I was home alone. It was just me. So I locked the door. Is that enough? Okay, what am I doing? I know I've said it before, like, what am I doing? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. What am I actually doing? I'm going to Cape Town. What? I didn't tell anyone this before, even though it's been planned for like a month and a half. Where is the Uber? Guys. I don't, well, nope, that didn't work. Hi, hello everybody, and welcome finally to my trip to South Africa. I know that I made you guys wait a little bit too long for this, but there's a lot of footage. We're here now. We're here, and it's okay, because we're here now. This trip was barely planned. Originally, in August of last year, I got a week off from work for the November time period. I knew that it would be right after coming back from Vegas, so I wanted, something adventurous to go and do. The original plan was for me to go to Europe and then travel throughout a bunch of countries, like taking the train, taking, whatever means necessary to go through Europe, visit a bunch of countries. I think at one point there were like 6 in the plan. What the hell? And then I'd be leaving from a different airport. So like I'd enter in through, I don't know, Amsterdam, go to Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, France, maybe even Monaco. Like, the plan was insane. And as some of you may know, my aunt lives in Switzerland, who I went to go visit back in 2022. I texted her as I was coming up with the plan, and I was like, hey, how would you like me to come by and see you guys for about 2 or 3 days? And they were like, oh, great. When would it be? I said, November. They said, oh, we're going to be in South Africa. I said, right. I tried to carry on with the plan, but my aunt, she felt bad, even though she had no reason to feel bad. I kind of made this whole plan without even asking her anything. And she was like, why don't you come to South Africa? No, that can't happen. Right? I spiraled for the next week. I went to Trinidad, like a couple days after this was announced. I went to Trinidad, and while I was in Trinidad, she texted me and she was like, why don't you come to South Africa? And I said, no, that can't happen. When I got back to New York, I spoke to my mom and I spoke to my cousin and my sister, and I was like, no. The next day, tickets were booked. And I got another week off from work. So I had 2 weeks now to go to South Africa. What? There's honestly not a lot of people on this flight. I was waiting for the boarding. It looked like we were boarding a JetBlue flight on one of those smaller planes. But no, there's a lot of room. Hell, I might even have like half the seats to myself. Guys, the registration of the plane that I am on is JHB, which is very conveniently close to JHB of Johannesburg. Like the capital of the country I'm going to. Guys, I'm going to South Africa. What am I doing? You guys are going to be hearing that a lot throughout this entire series. What am I doing? Because why? I didn't think that I'd be touching the African continent for 5 more years. And in 5 years, I'd still be saying in 5 years I wouldn't be seeing it. Seeing or just knowing that I was going to be touching Africa by the age of 22. No, I was 21. I was 21 when I did this. What? And I know isn't there somebody who's like 16 who was I don't care. I'm talking about me right now. Me saw Africa in 21, me age. Yeah, no, Europe was already a huge step, but that is an advantage because I have a family living there. Trinidad is another thing. I still haven't seen. There's something planned for the middle of the year, which I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But it just like when I went to St. Martin, I had to sit and just stare out the window of the plane for about 20 to 30 minutes just thinking about how I got here. And I'm not going to put y'all through that speech again because was a lot. But I'm just so grateful. It truly means so much that I can do this. And I'm looking in the camera now and realizing that my eyebrows are like uneven when I make my face. Is it my glasses? What is going on? I have the window open right now because in New York, it says that it's like 40 degrees, but inside it feels like a furnace. So I have the window open. If you hear anything, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Anyways, the flight to Switzerland, of course, is about 8 hours long. Let us proceed with the takeoff. Ta-da! Always loved me a little sunset departure. It's the best, iconic. During the flight, I finally got around to watching the Elvis movie, which, why haven't I watched it? It's a conversation for another video. The food, the food on board Swiss needs to win a Michelin star, because what? That food on board is some of the best airplane food I have ever had. There's no exaggeration about it. I would never lie. Do I look like a man who would lie? After absolutely devouring the meal and attempting to get some sleep, I don't remember if I read on this flight, but that's, if I did read, it was probably my Bones book. You know the TV series Bones? I was reading the book that is what it's based on. What is it? Deja Dead. That's what it's called. It's called Deja Dead. I want to read the whole series. I want to get into that. I tried watching Les Miserables. I watched it, of course, years ago when it first came out. Oh my God. I forgot that it's one of those musicals where the entire movie is the musical. There's no dialogue whatsoever. It's all through singing. And my God. The story's great. Of course, it's iconic. It's great. All the above. But my God, can we take a breath, please? After 8 long hours in the air, we finally started descending toward a very foggy Switzerland, which it all works out in my favor, because if you don't know this, I believe, do not quote me, look this up. I think it's the right side of the aircraft you want to be on when you're landing or departing Switzerland, because you get a perfect view of the Alps. Of course, it depends on runway and stuff, but I believe because of the planes that Swiss uses, they only use one runway. Don't fact check me. Actually, fact check me. I think I was okay with missing it because I saw the weather and I saw that it was going to be foggy in Switzerland. So I was like, I probably wouldn't see it anyway. Also, it's landing at night, so I probably wouldn't see it either way. So I was okay with it for this one. But you're going to see in the next video. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just we're landing. So what? Now, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I was given the absolute pleasure of visiting during my 5-hour layover in Zurich. I was given the pleasure of going to Swiss Airlines' business class lounge. Because who am I Yeah, I got in and I walked in and it was my aunt. My aunt is the one who was like, "You have a massive layover. Why don't you do something about it and we'll go to the lounge." Go. And I was like, "No, I don't belong there. I belong on the ramp outside with the suitcases on the floor." She was like, no, you go to the lounge. Go to the lounge. Here's the email. Here's everything you need to do. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go do that. And I did it. And I'm here. Look at what am I doing? It was so spacious in there. They had all their breakfast stuff out. Of course, they had their wines and their champagnes. They had everything out for breakfast time. People cooking in the back. They made their eggs fresh for you on the spot right there. They had showers in the back and like entire bathrooms and changing rooms and stuff like that. I think there was lockers where you could like put your suitcase while you're in the shower because you don't want to take that in with you. And of course, me being me, I got the usual suspects. I got a little bread, a small little bread, and then I got my croissant, and then I got some ham on the side because I like what I like. And of course, I had to do some plane spotting. You think that they just had this lounge like 4 floors up in the terminal and there wasn't going to be a spot for plane spotting? What are you talking about? I sat there for so long and it was like how long was that layover? I don't know how I'm going to figure that out now. I think it was like 3 to 5 hours, somewhere in that range. So I sat there and I watched the planes because the runway was right in front of us and it was so nice, so relaxing. My luggage was checked all the way through, by the way, because that's a thing that I've never been on a stopover. I don't take connecting flights. Not because of like a privilege thing, just because I've never had to. JFK to Trinidad, JFK to Switzerland, JFK to London. I live in New York. You don't take connecting flights from New York unless it's Africa because... Is it racism? I don't know. I can now confirm that it was a 3-hour layover. I'm looking at the timestamps right now. My plane eventually arrived, and it was time for us to board. So, yeah. It looks so shiny from over here. Don't get me wrong, in real life it's shiny too. It's just way shinier in the video. Anyway, we're boarding soon. The lounge was lit, as the kids say. Ooh, that's my first time flying a 4-engine plane, and I'm excited. Okay, let me walk away. This flight from Zurich to Cape Town is 11 and a half hours long. Never have I ever been on a flight that long before. So my aunt opted for us to go in Edelweiss, which the airline I'm on is Edelweiss. We went on Edelweiss's, not business class, but it's like comfort class or something. So we sat in the front of the plane, seat 6, which has extra leg room and like more amenities and stuff to, you know, like a different class, you know, because I'm special. However, there was no window seats available. There was only an aisle seat. 3 in a row. So all 3 of us, we sat in the aisle, and I sat on the actual row, the end of the aisle. Did I just hit myself? However, where I was sitting, I had almost a perfect view out the window. So you're still gonna get the view. You're still gonna see it, but just know that it's different. Now, because of where we were sitting, I did not get perfect video of the airplane taking off, which is currently happening right now. I decided to just narrate over it because why not? But what I did get from where I was sitting was the most aesthetic, perfect view. Sure, if I was sitting by the window, you'd probably see it better, but the Alps. I don't know which side it's on. The Alps. Can you see the Alps? I just like glanced out of the corner of my eye and I started seeing white as we were climbing. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I'm on the right side of the plane and we're departing Zurich. The pictures I got, the everything I got, go to my Instagram. Go to my Instagram, y'all. What are you doing here? Because I will be posting now that the series is finally happening. Go do that and you'll be seeing all the pictures I took. Because what? The food. Don't even get me started. I already started before. Edelweiss is no different. Edelweiss is a subsidiary of Swiss, so there's no excuse for why their food shouldn't be amazing, which it was. It was so good. It was so, I don't even remember what I got. If I remember what I got, I'm gonna like write it somewhere here, but oh my God, it was so good. It got me wanting seconds. Who the hell goes on a plane and says, seconds please? And then 11 and a half hours later, eventually we made it to Cape Town, South Africa. Flight honestly didn't even feel that long. I think I slept a good portion of it. I played Sudoku with my uncle who was sitting next to me. What else did we do? I ate, drank some wine. I did indulge in some wine because what else do you do for 11 and a half hours? You know, as they say, when in Rome, when 41,000 feet in the air. Just, okay, we're landing, y'all. So we just got in and I'm begging to go take a shower because it's been like 24 hours, but I need to show y'all this. I have my own room. I gotta show y'all. So you walk in, don't mind my 7-Eleven socks, and then boom, there's the bed right by the door. Here's the door, but I closed the curtain so that, you know, all of that. There's the bed, there's and then you walk into here, you put on a little one of these, and then you walk in, and a tub. Okay, I am sleep deprived and I need a shower really bad. So I'll see y'all when I get out. But you didn't see me when I got out. That's the problem. I honestly would not be surprised if I knocked right out after that. But that was my first day in South Africa. Not even first day. That was my first day of travel to South Africa. It was 8 hours to Switzerland, 3-hour layover. So what is that? That's already 12 hours. And then 11 and a half hours to Cape Town. So I was out of my house for 24 hours before even setting foot in South Africa. So it's been a long day. Now you can see why it took so long, because there's so much footage in that one day alone. I had to filter through and actually pick what I wanted to put in the video and what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, don't worry. I will be keeping up. I'm hoping to do every 2 days. If I don't, please go onto my Instagram and yell at me. I'll take it. I'll understand. You be mad at me. Push me, please. Yeah, about the blonde hair, we'll talk about that in another video. There's a lot of stuff that has to come out. There's this whole South Africa thing. I have 1 or 2 talking videos to put out and explaining some stuff that's been happening, because this is March right now. We're about to enter April. I think this video is coming out on April 1st. I'm gonna put this video on April 1st. Anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe if you enjoyed, and fly with me wherever I go. My Instagram, Twitter, link to my music is down in the description below. There should be a new song out featuring me and my 2 bros chachos. You guys go check that out in the description down below. I will be seeing you guys on Wednesday when I post the next video, because I will be posting the next video on Wednesday. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.